I'm back from India after a hectic 3.5 weeks tramping all over that great country, and this is going to be a series of several videos where I talk about some of the experiences I had during those 3.5 hectic weeks. Let me begin by the first part of this series of videos, and this is about my visit to IIT Kharagpur, which is my university where I did my electrical engineering degree, and it is really a visit down memory lane. Many of you will know by now that I'm not really Chinese, although ethnically I'm Chinese, but my grandfather emigrated from China to India in the late 19th century. My father was born in India, and I was born in India, and I had my entire education in India, culminating in my graduation with an electrical engineering degree from this prestigious place called IIT Kharagpur. So this first part of the video is about this visit to my old university campus. Let me tell you why I was invited there. It really came as a shock to me because on the 14th of November, I received this letter. Let me just enhance the video. You see that this letter I received out of the blue, inviting me to be the guest of honor at the annual convocation. Usually being invited as the guest of honor is reserved for bigwigs, mainly politicians in India, such as the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was the chief guest last year, and they had the convocation, I think, online. It wasn't a real live one, but nevertheless, people like that are usually asked to be the guest of honor. So when I was asked to be the guest of honor, I nearly fell through the floor. How could they invite a poor, humble gardener like me to be the guest of honor? But obviously, they felt that I had something to contribute to the institute, and therefore they broke with tradition and invited me to grace this occasion. However, the convocation, as you will notice, was on the 24th of December, which is Christmas Eve, and I didn't want to be away from home because I always liked to stay at home for Christmas. But when I told my daughter about this, she says, "You mustn't refuse. You'll never get the opportunity again." So I hurriedly had to sort out all the visa arrangements and travel arrangements and decided to go there. In case some of you don't know what IIT Kharagpur is, if you go to Wikipedia and look up IIT Kharagpur, you will find all that you need to know about this great university or institute. Suffice it to say that it is India's most prestigious technical university or institute. It was founded in 1951, and there are now several of these institutes. And in the mid-60s and early 70s, I would say that most of the graduates who left India and went to America, a third of Silicon Valley industries were started by alumnus from our university. And of course, today we have some very high-profile alumnus, including the famous Sundar Pichai, who is the chief of Google, chief of Alphabet. Another famous alumnus is Sir Arun Sarin. He is a graduate of 1980 and he was the CEO of Vodafone worldwide. And if you go through the list of great entrepreneurs and techies, you will find there are very famous people who are alumnus of our institute. But I happen to be just an ordinary gardener, but I have some reputation as a bonsai person, no more than that. So I was very honored to be invited. A little bit about the history of the institute. Here I photographed only on this recent visit the foundation stone, and of course the late Prime Minister, in fact he was the first Prime Minister of India since independence, Jawaharlal Nehru, or Pandit Nehru as he was known, and he laid the foundation stone in March 52 when this new building was built. They started off life in the old building, and the old building is in fact no more than a jail. There is a watchtower, and that watchtower was the jail where the Britishers incarcerated the freedom fighters of India. So Kharagpur has a lot of sentimental attachment to the freedom movement of India. Going back into history, here I am receiving my degree from then director Dr. Sengupta. The picture on the left was taken in December 1962. So when I went back in December 2022, it's exactly 60 years to the day that I received my engineering degree, the diploma. The picture on the right is me standing in front of our hall of residence with the topper, Mr. Cornelius, who is now in Silicon Valley. And he was always top of the class and I was at the bottom of the class. Notice the picture on the right with the flowers in the background. I was the gardening secretary of my hall of residence, and that was my first association with plants and flowers. So even in those days, I was very fond of growing plants. This is a souvenir that is produced when people graduate. This is dated May 62, and you look at the entry on the right hand side and you can see there the entry for me about Peter Chan, and it says there that I'm quiet and handsome and I'm known all over Bengal for my cycling. He got the Institute Blue for cycling and is also a wonderful speaker. His room still bears testimony to his artistic nature. So the two things they got absolutely right. I'm still a good speaker and I am artistic by nature. I don't know why I took up electrical engineering, because I never fitted into that. But life goes on and we all end up doing different things in life, and fate has it that I turned out to be a bonsai practitioner and I earn my livelihood from that. I did have two other careers before this. I did work for 10.5 years as an electrical engineer in the UK, and then for the next 12 or so years I was a civil servant in the Department of Energy. So that is my background. Some more old pictures for you to see. This picture is of me with my uncle on the left and auntie, and standing next to the famous new building. This picture was taken in 1960, so the building was only like, I would say, 10 years old. The picture on the right is the famous old building, and that tower, in fact, is the watchtower for the prison camp where all the freedom fighters of India were incarcerated. That picture on the right shows me standing with my auntie and mother on the far left. So my mother did visit the campus twice, I think, because our campus is about 80 miles from Calcutta where I lived. So these are very sentimental pictures. more than 62 years old. I always like to show off my other side of my life, which is my cycling. When I was in college, I did nothing but spend my spare time cycling. I was the state cycling champion of West Bengal and Eastern India. And this is the crest on the left, which my institute awarded me. This is the Institute Blue. Just as in Oxford and Cambridge, they have the Oxford Blue and Cambridge Blue. The IIT also had the blue for outstanding sportsman, which I was because I was the state cycling champion. The crest on the right is the standard crest, which no longer is used now. They have a new crest, which doesn't show the Ashoka lions. And we all wore blazers. We were very smartly attired in those days. A lot of old British tradition. These are pictures of me in the stadium of the institute. I met a person on this visit, and he was telling me how as a boy he used to idolize me because I was the folk hero on the campus. I won every cycle race which was held each year, and all the campus children treated me as a folk hero, almost like a god, because I was that famous for my cycling. Cycling was a large part of my life in those days, but of course no more. And the reason why I still keep good health is because I've always been active in sport. I do visit the institute from time to time. So this is a picture of a visit I made, I think in 2000, I think the year 2000 or was it 1999, I can't remember now. Sorry about this because I'm taking pictures on my computer, so it may be a bit shaky, but please bear with me. The picture on the right is another visit I made, I think in 1994 or 95, nearly 30 years ago, and I donated some sums of money to plant trees on the campus. And I'm glad I did that because many of the trees are now mature and very old and large. I will show you more of these pictures as we go along. Some more pictures of the past. Sorry if I'm boring you, but I thought you'd like to know a bit about my background. So the picture on the left is me 1959-60 in my second year, I think it was, and I was always part of the IIT Kharagpur athletics team because I was considered quite a good athlete. And of course this picture on the right is a picture that is always made for students who graduate, and this is the graduation photograph from our Hall of Residence. If you look carefully at that picture, I'm sitting at the front row towards the left next to the warden. I was always a very high profile person, and I was always at the forefront of many extracurricular activities. I seldom studied. Most of my time was spent playing around doing other things apart from studies. But I enjoyed that sort of life. Another picture taken on this recent visit of me visiting my old department, which is electrical engineering department. I studied heavy electrical engineering, which means all the things to do with generators and motors and transmission lines. The picture on the right hand side shows the machines that I used to do my experiments on. They're still there. They're all British machines which were donated by the UK government after independence. These are pictures of earlier visits. This was a visit, I think, maybe 1997, showing me with some of my old batchmates. The gentleman on the right-hand side on both the pictures sadly passed away. He went to America to live with his son, but unfortunately he got killed in a road rage accident in America. So I feel very sorry for him. Let's move on. And this is a picture of me in 2015, 7 years ago, when I was awarded the Distinguished Alumnus Award. The gentleman who is holding the certificate is Lord Bhattacharya. Lord Bhattacharya is the famous industrialist engineer who was responsible for rescuing the famous British car company Jaguar Land Rover. He passed away 2 years ago, but he was a few years senior to me. So Lord Bhattacharya is one of those famous alumnus of this institute. These are pictures taken recently on this visit, and as you can see me standing there, this was on the 22nd of December, 2 days after I landed in India. It's standing in front of the new building, and there were signs everywhere of me being the guest of honor for the convocation. There were huge hoardings all over the campus. So this was my moment of fame. I feel a bit embarrassed about it because I really shouldn't be there. I'm really not worthy to be invited to do it, but if they think that I'm worth it, so be it. I accept it very humbly. Picture of me with the director, Professor Tiwari, a very dynamic man, very, very dynamic man. And he's taking the institute forward to great heights. This is the day when I was doing one of my workshops. I did a lot of workshops on other topics. I didn't go there just to attend the convocation, but I did some workshops on sustainability, climate change, and also well-being and wellness. On this campus, there are quite a few suicides among students because the pressure on the students is so great that they all want to achieve high and be at the top of the ladder, as it were. So I was doing some workshops on how to have a well-balanced life and not just do all your work concentrating on career and studies. This is a picture of part of the convocation. At this convocation, 2,300 students received the actual degree diploma from undergraduate degrees, the bachelor degrees, master's degrees, and doctorates. And also the Distinguished Alumnus Awardees were present too. And because this auditorium only holds about 400 or 500 people, they had to come in batches, in streams, right through the day. So poor me had to sit on the dais with the director and other dignitaries from 11:30 in the morning till 8:30 in the evening, awarding the degrees. Very tiring affair. And the following day in the Telegraph, you will see the date there. It is the 25th of December, Christmas Day issue of the Telegraph, which is a leading Calcutta newspaper or Indian newspaper. And my speech was reported quite widely. I don't want to talk about my speech. I think you can find it on YouTube because the Institute did put it on YouTube. And the gist of my talk was that you don't have to be at the top of this class to be a success in life. Most of the people who enter IIT are very highly accomplished students in their own right. So there's no matter if you don't reach the top of the class, you have to be first or you have to be last. Just take it and accept it and live life. Life is not always about being first. So that went down so well. I think I got many standing ovations for that speech. I talked about hurdles in life and how to overcome hurdles. And I also talked finally about what constitutes success in life. And essentially the message was, it's not about money, it's not about fame, it's about doing something and making a difference in someone's life. So all these things went very well. So that was a memorable experience. So let me continue this video showing you some more of what I did. I spent a full week on the campus, so I had a lot of time, and I was riding around in these little electric buggies, and they're all battery powered buggies. The campus is very green. 50% of their electricity is generated by solar PV, and they're trying to make an impact on what they believe and what they preach. So the tech is practiced on the ground level, as it were. Picture on the right is with me visiting the Gymkhana, where all the sports activities take place because of my obvious connection with sport while I was in university. I visited my old hall of residence. There are now 25 halls of residence on the campus because there are 15,500 students, undergraduate students, and another 1,000 postgraduate students. So it's a huge campus, very large campus. And the campus covers about 2,100 acres. Here I am in my old hall of residence having dinner. I insisted in having the food that the students have. So I was there with the warden and some of the students. And the picture on the right shows the utensils where we had our meals. This is a typical Indian device where they have little compartments for the different dishes. That's my room in the middle floor, third from the center of the building. And there's me standing in front of my old room, 228C of RK, or rather Krishnan Hall. I spent a full 4 years there, so this was always a nice experience. I have visited this room many times because I go back to the campus quite often. On one of the visits back in 1995, I took my daughter Angela there. She was in her final year in Cambridge, and I wanted to show her the contrast between her rooms in Cambridge and the rooms in IIT, which were primitive to say the least. I showed it to her because I don't like to reveal too many secrets, but my wife was my pen friend when I was in college. At the age of 20, I used to write letters to her, and she was my pen friend at the age of 15, and we corresponded for many years. And I told my daughter that had I not written letters from this room, she would not be born. So it's very much like Back to the Future, that famous movie. Had I not done this, this would have happened, and I had not done that, that would not have happened. Such is life. Of course, the campus is not as drab and dreary as you think. I stumbled across a group of students who were making music, playing contemporary Indian pop. If the video does play, I will show it to you, but it's lovely music. I also visited the library, and I discovered that I had gifted them one of my books. This is Bonsai Secrets, I think it was, on the 5th of December 2005, that is 17 years ago. I've gifted them most of my books, and of course the alumnus have written many books. This is a picture of me taken on the 22nd of December, standing in front of the new building, what we call the new building. This is the famous landmark of the institute. None of the other IITs have a landmark as famous as this. And I did go to the top of the IIT tower. That tower is about 180 feet tall. So in all the time I was in IIT, those 4 years, we were never allowed to go to the top of the tower in case people jumped off the top. But I had to get special permission even on this visit. There's the head of security behind me. I had to sign a form saying that they were not responsible if something happened to me. And the picture on the right is the view you get from the top of the tower. The campus, of course, is a very beautiful campus now. In our days, it was pretty wild because it was only like 7 years since it had been established. So everything was in a state of disarray. We had jackals and wild animals running through the halls of residence. And it was a complete, I would say, primitive place. But we enjoyed our life there. We were the pioneers of that institute. I like to show this picture because when I was there, the campus don't celebrate Christmas. So this is the church we used to go to when I was in college. Kharagpur Union Church, it's a Baptist church, started by American missionaries about 160 years ago. So here I was on Christmas Eve, and I went to the church service on Christmas Day. Some sights from the past. This building on the left is where one of my girlfriends used to live. She passed away 2 or 3 years ago now, sadly. But this house doesn't resemble the house in the early days. It's in a complete state of disrepair. This is me standing in the railway market called Gol Bazaar. The campus is really beautiful. I'll show you some videos of the campus. It's now full of trees, beautiful greenery everywhere. And of course, when I was there, I visited one of my YouTube fans. And this YouTube fan lived in a village called Jhagram, which is about 40 kilometers from our university campus. And I'll tell you more about it in a minute. Now let me tell you about this visit I made to a YouTube fan in Jhagram village near Kharagpur. Ever since I started doing the YouTube videos, I have built up a huge following. And I always try to reply to comments that are made by people if they are relevant. And I noticed that this gentleman called Nabakumar Mahata was not only an Indian, but he lived in a village called Jhagram. So I remember Jhagram from my college days because I used to ride my bicycle there as part of my training 40 kilometers away. And I used to do it on a Saturday afternoon. 80 kilometers was just a cakewalk. So I said that if ever I go to Kharagpur, I must visit this guy. I love to support my YouTube fans, and especially a YouTube fan that had some connection with my old college or university. So here am I. This, I think, was the 23rd of December when I went to see him. That's him standing next to me. He's an artist in his own right. That big mural of the leopard catching a deer was painted by him. So is the picture of Hanuman, the Hindu god. These pictures were all painted by him. And this is his family. His father on the left, and his uncles on the right, and other relatives, his brother, I think. And they live off the land. They have lived on this site for, I think, 150 years, over 6 generations, he told me. And of course, like most of these villagers in India, the children are very tech savvy. So although the parents can barely read or write, the children are into high-tech stuff. So this is the modern India today. Not only is a tech-savvy guy, he also makes bonsai. On this visit, this YouTube fan of mine was so touched that he bought a special tree. This is the banyan tree. And this banyan tree is one of these great big trees that spread with the aerial roots and make huge plants. So he's planting this tree to commemorate my visit, so he made me plant it. And not only that, he is so savvy that he got the reporters from a famous Calcutta newspaper, Bengali language paper, and this visit was reported widely in that paper. So there was a lot of press coverage about this visit. Now, although this visit has been an interesting one, it was very stressful. And as you see in the script, my luggage was lost on the way out. I was flying business class by Air Canada, and they lost my 2 suitcases. One of them was retrieved after 6 days. That means almost the final day when I was on the campus. So I was without decent clothes to meet the Vice President of India. And the second one was recovered after 16 days. So that was very stressful indeed. But what did I do? I know it upset me initially, but I took it very philosophically. And I think a lot of people were quite surprised that I didn't get too upset, because I said to myself that what can you do? If you get stressed about it, you can't make the suitcases come back. You can try your best, but they will turn up, I hope, which they did eventually. And so I look at it like this. In the 60 years that I've been traveling by air, this is the first time that I've ever lost my cases. So that's not a bad record. So looking at it from the positive side of things, it's not so bad. So that is how I coped with my lost suitcases. So that was a bad experience, but I didn't let it upset my thing. I went out and bought some new clothes. Fortunately, I have some funds that can help sustain my lifestyle. So I bought new clothes and new shoes, new underwear, and I got by doing that. But all in all, it was a most enjoyable visit. So I'm now going to follow this up with some videos, live videos that I made of my visit to Kharagpur. And in the subsequent episodes of my India trip, I will show you what I did by way of bonsai in Calcutta, Delhi, Bombay, and in one of the resorts outside Bombay called Karjat. So there are lots more videos to come. So I hope you will enjoy it. I'm on my sentimental journey. It's the 21st of December 2022, and it's over 64 and a half years since I first visited or came to IIT Kharagpur. So how nostalgic is that? I came here in May 1958. This was a jungle. All the trees didn't exist. There were just dirt tracks everywhere. And this is what the IIT Kharagpur looks like today. So I'm here as the chief guest and guest of honor. So it's going to be a very sentimental journey for me. So here I am taking a walk.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. At least all these roads are now tar macadamied. Before, the roads were like this, just dirt tracks. And that is the sound of the diesel trains. In our days, we had steam. Even when I visited in 1994, steam trains still used to run. But there are no steam trains now. The trains always make me feel nostalgic. Look at the greenery here. Look at the greenery. All these huge trees were no thicker than 1 inch in diameter when I came here in 58. Oh gosh, the trains make me feel so nostalgic. So I'm here for this event, the 68th convocation, and I'm the chief guest and guest of honor. Of course, in our day we'd never had cameras, so I have very little to record from those days. What a shame, I wish I had. There are some improvements. Things were not like this before. There are palm trees planted nearby, in between the tall trees. And there are actually seats for people to sit on, benches. How nice is that? These, by the way, are crepe myrtle trees. In the spring and February, they have beautiful flowers. Look at these beautiful trees, crepe myrtle. And this, by the way, is a mighty great big neem tree. Neem is used for many purposes, mainly medicinal. The stems are used as toothbrushes, and I'm pleased to see that they have put the botanical names, neem. Whole plant has got value. So I was telling you about the crepe myrtle. I used to love these trees because the flowers were so pretty. So the Indian name is Yarul, Legistrumania speciosa. And the commercial value is the leaf, flower and fruit. So that's interesting to know. I've never noticed how beautiful these trees are on the campus. Of course, now that they're more mature and with more character, look at them. This is a beautiful tree. I think this is a gulmohar, which probably has the red flowers. There's another tree similar to this, which has yellow flowers. And look at it. This is the cycle park, cycle stand. And this is where I made my name. My claim to fame was as a great sportsman at IIT. I was the king of the track, undisputed cycling champion, not just of IIT Kharagpur, but the whole of West Bengal, the state of West Bengal. Pity this is shut. Oh, they actually got a proper track. No longer is it just grass. Things have moved on. So nostalgic here. I guess I'm going to record all the trees while I'm here. This tree, I can't remember all the Indian names, called Chattim, Astonia scholaris. How appropriate for scholars. The bark and the latex is of use. That is a large casuarina tree. It must be every bit, easily I would say 100 feet tall or more. This is what ficus trees do. This is probably just a stray seedling that has grown. So it's strangled the wall and about to strangle the tree. I was telling you about the termites and that crepe myrtle are not long-lived trees. Look at this for an example. It's completely rotted away. So these trees don't live long and it's just covered with termite nest. So I dare say this tree will collapse. It will collapse. Hi, the students here.
Yeah.
The fact that I heard you were from Jhagram reminded me 1958 to 62 I used to ride the bicycle here to Jhagram.
I know, sir. Yeah, you already, sir, you told me, sir, that you came Belia village, sir.
Yes, okay.
Come here.
Okay.
Make a bonsai nursery, sir.
Okay, please do. But you have to be
dig
quick
more, sir. I have to dig more.
because
more
there
and
are
more.
there are a lot of people in the Calcutta area already doing bonsai, making bonsai nursery.
Yeah.
So suddenly the market will get completely full up.
Yeah.
So you have to be very quick.
Come here, sir.
So this is our YouTube follower, one of my YouTube fans. I'm visiting his village in the deepest part of rural India. Look at all the cows. YouTube fans don't often get a chance to see all this.
This is our land, sir.
And they can get 3 to 4 crops in a year. This is the dry season. These mango trees, they have a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
What variety of mango is that?
Maybe, sir, Alfonso.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what do you do with that tree root?
Tree root, sir, it's an art, sir. It's called Kutum Katam art.
So you use that tree
I want
root to
to show
make
you.
art.
Yeah.
Look at the driftwood. So this wood is used for making artistic
Yeah,
objects.
artistic things, sir.
And these are mango trees. Okay, let us see the object. What are you doing there? Is that a well for water irrigation?
What irrigation, sir? Our submersible is there.
And this you fill the tank.
Yeah.
So here, one of our YouTube fans making his bonsai from a type of ficus. Very nice shape, yes, very nice. Very nice. But you need to make lots.
Yeah, sir.
Make hundreds of them. Hundreds
Yeah,
to get
sir.
experience.
Banyan tree.
Yeah. Okay. Keep growing in pots.
Come here.
It's so easy to propagate. Very easy to propagate.
Ficus rampi, sir.
Oh,
Ficus rampi.
yeah, that is very easy to grow.
Yeah. So come here.
Okay, a people tree, no.
Sir,
Ramphia,
under training, sir.
what tree is this? What variety is that?
This is in Bengali. It is called
Not people. People.
people.
People. I thought
Also
people
so
tree
in-
is different, isn't it?
People tree has this both the sides same, but
It looks like people, but I thought people.
No, sir. It's people.
Oh.
It's people.
Oh, people tree. Bodh tree they call.
In Bengali, sir, it is called asast.
Huh?
Asasta.
assess yes sir, then it's people.
Oh, people tree.
People tree. Sir, I think, sir, this is tiger bark.
Oh. Ficus? No.
I have purchased it.
This is like a box tree, boxes.
Box tree, yeah.
Boxes,
sir.
boxes.
That I can't call to mind, sir.
Yeah,
Box tree.
boxes.
You're right, sir.
And okay, tamarind, imli.
Emily.
That. See, we don't get to see scenery like this. Look at it. Do you sell the chickens or you only use it for eggs?
No, sir. It's we use eggs and also chicken.
Oh, for meat.
Yeah, for me, sir.
But you don't produce on a commercial scale, just a few.
No, sir. Commercially, no. It's
Only for your own use.
domestic.
Only for your own use. Okay. So is this paddy,
Yeah, paddy.
rabi crop,
Rabi. It is called rabi.
winter crop,
Winter crop.
winter crop.
Winter crops are these sarson and
No, winter no. Winter first no. এটা কি বলে রবি শস্য নাকি বলে?
So this is the artwork of my bonsai YouTube follower. Look at this, so artistic. Right in a village of nowhere. And he's
ছোট ঘং
oh
স্যার ভিলেজ নেম ছোট ঘং
Choto Gon.
ছোট ঘং
Gon.
GHONG স্যার ঘং
Meaning small village.
স্মল ভিলেজ
Small village.
ছোট ঘং
And the family has been in this area all the time? How many years the family have been here?
ফ্যামিলি কত বয়স প্রথম থেকেই তো দাদু সবার থেকে এখানে
কতগুলো জেনারেশন এখানে আছে বলছে কত জেনারেশন বলছে এখানে আছে আর
এখানে চারটা জেনারেশন ফোর জেনারেশন
Oh,
ফোর জেনারেশন
more than 100 years? More than 100 years?
more than 100 years
More than 100 years you've been living here?
yeah
Oh.
100 years old four generation 200
So this
200 years sir.
200 years.
More
So
than
in those
200
days it
years.
was all jungle.
yeah
Only Santal area in the
yeah.
these are six generation
sixth generation. Arey Baba. Sixth generation.
uncle
Oh, yeah. Six generations. Oh. This is really a privilege to come here. Hospitality. Indian hospitality. What can I say? Thank you very much. So they're organizing a party in our honor, isn't it? Just for us. Are, thank you for your hospitality.
ups happening in each other's life,
Really?
or they can't relate to the experiences
Okay.
these days because
In the village?
in the village there's
Oh.
always a conservative thinking that once you'll have a government job, that's all we need,
Yes.
nothing else. So there's a trend from Chidawa, where I'm from.
Yeah.
There's this trend that people go in military services.
Oh.
More than 70% of the Indian forces.
Like Jats and all that,
Yes,
they
sir.
only work as army people or government service.
Yes,
IAS is the biggest achievement in life. IAS officer.
yes, sir. This is the basic preliminary goal which we lead, which we
Oh.
take from the very starting, and then coming out, seeing all these experiences, all new experiences, all gaining all these experiences, we start to find out like what do we need to do? How can I create an impact on this society? And then all these confusions come to what should I do? What
But
should
then
I
you
do?
could get a situation very easily, like from here, if you had gone into IIT, or there are IIT students who are from village like this, and then they go to America, the change is even more stark and severe, isn't it?
Yes, sir. I feel
Huh? How
do
can
feel
they
that.
relate to the village when they go back? Huh?
like whenever somebody comes back to the place where he's from, he can relate all the hard work that he has
Yes.
done there.
Oh.
So that's what the hard work has made it.
Made him possible.
Made him possible to come back to a point where he started.
Yes.
That's the biggest privilege what I feel
Okay.
a person can have.
Yeah. I don't think you get that so much in the West. Only in developing country you get it. I hope people who watch my video will appreciate this thing, this transition which is going on in the world. I'm very privileged to be here to do this. Today is the 22nd,
22nd.
2022.
2022
Peter Chern at Jhagram.
That is so sweet of you, Peter.
There you are.
This is the special message that Peter has for his followers.
Thank you. And may you succeed in your bonsai.
না আর কি এটাই তো 100 ইয়ার্স এটাই তো লং লাস্টিং করবে
Okay, you're going to put
ইয়া স্যার We have partly, we have to cut.
But the hole is a bit too deep.
Hole is too deep, sir. Too deep, sir.
Put some salt
Let
back.
me do something, sir.
Fill another 30 centimeters or so.
Hot round, sir.
Okay. Bring it.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah, okay. তাড়াতাড়ি করো।
তাড়াতাড়ি একটু ব্যাঙ্গালি
পাতাগুলো ধুই ছবি ভালো আছে।
That's okay. Don't worry. Bring the plant. I will
Okay, sir.
put it in the soil.
দেখ
দেখেন তো গোবর পাবি
Yeah, okay.
চাগুলো নিয়ে রে, চাটা।
এখানে গোবর আছে রে ওই তোর এখানটা
So who's taking my video at the moment?
Yep.
Is it on?
yep
So we are planting a tree, banyan tree. He's asked me to plant a tree to mark my visit. Okay, that's fine. This looks very good. Smart, very smart. Okay. So did you buy this from the market or did you grow it yourself?
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
I myself did it, sir.
Okay, great. There you are. Great.
Sir, say,
Bring the
some
Kodali.
pictures, sir. শোন হয় না লিসন তো এদিক থেকে ভিডিও না
So I'm actually planting a tree.
It's for your memory, sir.
Memory of Peter planted by Peter.
Okay.
Hope it survives.
It will survive.
Sir,
You know, on the campus, those big banyan trees.
yeah.
When I was in Kharagpur 64 years ago, 1958,
64, yeah.
those big trees were only that patla, that thick. And now they're so big
Yeah, sorry.
after 64 years.
Sir, be seated here. We want to show some pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, be seated here, sir. Okay. Be seated there. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. It is a great honor to do this. All right. Good luck.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for a very good
Sir, come here,
visit.
sir. Water is here.
No.
No, sir.
তারপর গোবর টবর দিয়ে করে দিই ওকে একটু গোবর টবর
Okay. Now, this is a very, very special YouTube video. I am here almost in my birthplace because I was here in 1958 to 62. 64 years ago, I came to the campus of the Indian Institute of Technology in Kharagpur, and in my college days, I was the gardening secretary. We are here in the grounds of the facilities management, and if you can introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Vivek Srivastava, Chief Engineer of the campus.
Chief engineer, so you look after all the ground. And
Yes.
you,
Deepika Datta, executive engineer, looking after this hall.
so they have engineers looking after the grounds and facilities. And if you look around all these beautiful flowers, this is the nursery where they grow the plants for beautifying the campus. You can see how lovely it is. All these poinsettias, roses grown from cuttings, all these beautiful plants. And of course, they grow these plants to beautify the campus. So look at it. So as I say, I had to do specially a YouTube video showing all these beautiful things that these people do. So what are some of your big problems here apart from growing plants? Very hot, I know. In summer
Very
it gets
hot,
to,
very
what's
hot.
the temperature in the summertime?
It goes up to 42, 43 sometimes.
Okay,
Yes.
centigrade.
Yeah.
And no rain.
No, rains are also
What
very
is the
heavy.
hottest month, March or April?
Hottest is, I think,
June.
May. June is hottest. Again, October heat is also quite
Okay.
heavy, yeah, sometimes.
Because I remember when I used to do exams in March, April already, it was getting very hot
Yes.
in those days.
Another thing,
And rains with heavy showers and
Oh,
thunderstorms.
that is in July,
Yeah, that's
monsoon time. July. It doesn't flood here, and the campus doesn't, because we're high up, huh? We're high
Doesn't
up.
flood.
Doesn't flood. But you have to irrigate the ground to keep the grass green.
Yes.
Okay. This is something which is unique to India. You see the edging, the white triangular bricks there they put. This is only found in India. I don't see anywhere else in the world they put the edging
We
like that.
recycle the waste bricks.
Okay, yeah. So that is very pretty, huh? Very nice. And I notice you always paint the flower pots.
all these are recycled
Yes.
materials. Sir.
Yeah.
Is it?
These are also recycled materials.
Okay, yeah. Very nice. So this is what the horticulture is about. So as I said, in my college days, I used to be the gardening secretary of my hall of residence. And under my supervision, we had a Mali who used to grow all the plants. And I was telling our colleagues here that the budget given to me in those days, about 64 years ago, was 200 rupees a year to pay for the services of one gardener. 200 rupees today is what, £2 for the whole year. But in those days, I think 200 rupees was a very good
Very good money.
very good money, very good money. Anyway, so like £200 a year.
Now it is 477 per day.
But even then, yeah, £4 a day. Anyway, still okay. Yeah. One
But the campus size is huge, so we definitely need more.
2,000 acres.
2,000.
Yeah, the campus is 2,000 acres, more than 2,000 acres.
1100.
Yeah. But do you have to look after all the grounds, all the facilities, all the
Almost all the
roadsides?
habitated area.
Yeah.
Rest of the places where which is still not buildings are there or people are not staying. That is usually taken as and when it is required.
Talking of the campus, these big trees, which are all huge, I remember 64 years ago, they were only about 1 inch thick.
1 inch, yeah.
They had just been planted. They had just been planted. So they have grown very fast in 64 years. Of course, tropical trees grow very fast. So it's very nice to come back and see these things. It is almost like a jungle. In our days, the campus was newly built. It was only like 5-6 years old. So there was nothing there. There was just concrete piles, rubbish everywhere. RK Hall had nothing there. So a lot of changes. It's become better and better. So I'm very pleased that I see such beautiful things around here. And if my gardening skills have anything to do with the campus, I'm sure it is the environment I grew up in which has helped me develop my love for plants. So although I'm an electrical engineer by training, from India's most famous engineering institute, and I think one of the greatest institutes in the world, because we produce engineers which are world famous all over the world. And this is the birthplace of all those people. So thank you very much. And I hope you enjoy it.
Sir, thank you, sir.
It's our pleasure to host you here, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Now this one has got potential for doing
রেডটা ছিল
bonsai. Look at it. It's got nice shape. This is people tree. And because it's got that nice S shape, that will make a nice bonsai shape. And if you take the tips out, the growing tips, it sends more shoots.
Oh, okay.
If you don't cut it, it doesn't send much shoot. So this basically is the shape of your bonsai. Okay, so one bonsai made in IIT. There you are.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And this you can make guti as well, huh? All ficus grow from guti, huh?
Oh.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Like this plant, that is how you make the bonsai. You have to be able to cut. Don't be afraid to cut. If you don't cut, you won't get bonsai.
Oh.
That is the shape of the bonsai. Cut this out.
এটা
And keep it small, chota chota, not big, huh? So that is bonsai. Like even this, if this is no. Now like this one, if you want to make bonsai, you cut it to about here, not so tall, like here. Then you can use for cutting. You know, that's how you do. All right.
Thank you, sir.
So this is a nostalgic visit again. Christmas Day in IIT Kharagpur. Maybe I haven't spent Christmas like this for more than 60 or 65 years. Christmas is not celebrated in India generally in small towns like this. In the large cities, Calcutta and Delhi and Bombay maybe. But here you are, Christmas, no decorations, nothing. People don't even think of it as a separate day. Today is Sunday, so it's a holiday anyway. And tomorrow they're working again. Look at the lovely trees on the campus. 60 or 64 years ago, there were nothing, no trees, nothing. All these trees are only about 60 years old. Down memory lane, in more senses than one. I love my trees, but I'm afraid I don't know these exotic species. This is a flowering tree, I guess. Look at the size of the leaves, so big. It's a huge tree. And that is the stadium behind me. This for me is always nostalgic. Ever since I came back in 1993, this is almost 30 years ago, I always used to frequent the stadium to remember old times. My fame in this university or this campus was made for my cycling prowess. I used to win the 4-mile cycle race every year. And today we met two people who remember me for those days. They were only 10 years old, they're now in their 70s, and they remember me as their hero because I won every cycle race, not just in the campus, but all over Bengal. Now it is different, they have a proper running track. In our days it was just grass, and I used to call it camel's back because it was so bumpy. How I established these records, I don't know. Anyway, I hope it won't be the last time I see it, but I feel so nostalgic. Oh, the stadium is even lit. Things do change. After all, 64 years, things should have changed. Just to give you a flavor of what tropical trees do, look at this tree. This is a peepal tree, what they call Ficus religiosa, the tree that Lord Buddha sat under to gain enlightenment. So the leaves are heart-shaped, but it's got a little tail at the end. So what I want to show you is how these parasitic plants live on this tree. Look at the trunk, and there is a Ficus bengalinus, which is a banyan tree, and there's some other small leaf tree growing out of the trunk. So this is how they grow, and further up the trunk, let me just focus on it, they've cut some of the banyan tree. That means the Ficus religiosa was the host for this Ficus bengalinus, which was strangling the tree. Had they not cut that tree out, this tree would have been strangled and killed. So this is what I really wanted to show you. This tree has a trunk diameter of about 8 feet, and I remember in my college days about 60 to 64 years ago, it was no more than 1 inch thick. So let me come closer. So this is the leaf of the peepal tree. It says heart-shaped, and if you soak it in water, you get what is called skeleton leaves, tracery of just veins on the leaf. Those are the leaves. This is the trunk, and these are the parasitic plants that are growing inside the tree. So it doesn't need soil. So this is the guest house for mainly visitors and alumni. It's a modern building. I think it accommodates about 200. It's like a large hotel. What a beautiful guest house, look at it. Lush with these areca palms, large mango trees. That is the old guest house. Another old mango tree. These mango trees must be more than 60 years old, I dare say 100 years old. Look at it. Mango tree. Can you imagine the thousands of mangoes that will be on this tree in the summer? Very nice.
Peter, you are going to get these vegetables very, very cheap. Carry them as much as you can to UK. Okay? Just carry them with you to UK as much as you can. Take all of them. Bouquet.
This is another favorite vegetable of mine.
Yeah.
Called shim.
Guys, we are in Tech Market with Peter Chan, who was the chief guest for convocation. And beautiful Tech Market. Wow. Great.
And this is called potol. Yeah, kunlu. Oh, potol.
Yes, sir.
Potol.
This is beautiful.
Oh, very nice. Potol. Arey Baba. Look at it, Bengali sweet shop. এটা কি vegetable chop.
এটা আছে jalebi.
Jalebi.
And now what is jalebi? Round and round and round and stop.
Big one. Laddu.
Yes.
Gulab jamun.
This is laddu, sir.
Yeah, laddu. Rasgulla. Rasmalai.
Rashmalai.
This is made from cashew nut.
Oh, badam.
Cashew nut, yeah. And these are, you see, all almonds and all those things are there, peanuts. And this is from pure chena, from milk.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, like a curd, eh?
Yes.
And this almond as well.
This is sandesh.
Oh. This is on this.
These are all sandesh. These are all sandesh.
chocolate banana. कुछ नहीं आता ना सही. हमारे लोग क्या बनाते हैं?